positive. Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to EML. We are here tonight for Social Race number 2, and we are here, of course, for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. My name is James Head. Delighted to be taking through the stream, of course, as always, on this fine Wednesday evening. Hope you're all doing well. Joining me in the commentary box, afraid to show his face on the camera, unlike me, it is Mr. Iverbrin Mike. Mike, how you doing?
I would like to say I'm not afraid. I just have a quite a considerable sized nose. But I am doing great, mate. How are you doing? Looking forward to some good racing here tonight.
Yeah, it should be good. It should be good. We're having a right hissy fit in terms of my OBS. Everything has gone according to plan in terms of the lobby. We're going to get the lobby started very, very soon indeed. If you haven't got an invite, please let me know, and I'll be able to get you in because I'm also the lobby host as well. So hopefully everything will go according to plan. And yeah, it should be very good in terms of the lineups that we do have and the 10 teams that, of course, we do have competing tonight as well. And they include, and we're going to start through, if I look down, by the way, on the camera, you know I'm reading this out. Lineup submission. It is NLR Esports, and that is Justin and Gabriel representing NLR. VIR represented by Chris Hallett, one of the brand new drivers, I think, for VIR, and Andrew, very familiar face to you and me. G League Esports, brand new team that I'm certainly commentating on, Enzo and Maxime. I believe they're a French outfit, if I'm not mistaken. They used to be, I think they merged as, it was Team as One, if I'm not mistaken. They merged as G League Esports. They're now part of the G League team. WSC Esports represented by Coco03 Stephen, not to be confused with O Stephen, and that is Giova alongside him as well. X Esports represented by Robin and Andreas. Sharby was apparently going to be racing, unfortunately not. Both of them, I believe, are in. We are just waiting for one more driver, I believe, to join. IRT Bumye and Antonio are the two drivers in. I've just realised, though, Leroy is actually reserving for IRT, so another wonder we haven't got Antonio in the lobby. Mike, if you can do the invite there, that'd be much appreciated as well. He's probably just sitting there thinking, why haven't I got an invite? And then I've just realised he is reserving tonight for IRT. Juventus Racing there represented by Evil Nick and Brent. Mustache and Lucas were their two drivers as well to be reserving. ET8 Esports, potentially the ones to watch out for tonight. Sam Gamer and Dominic Nielsen. Very, very good lineup, I've got to say, for ET8. Look forward to seeing Sam Gamer in his attribution. Of course, former PSGL driver. He is back in EML as well. Look forward to seeing how he gets on. Team Valor, a team that some of you might be familiar with in Legacy Division from WOR. They are represented by Geordie and Ticho, just starting off on the PlayStation platform as well. A Team Valor, looking forward to seeing how they get on as well, judging by the talent that they have had in the past. And then Benjamin and Mazepin are representing TGT, not TTG, as I was formerly a member of TTG back in the past as well. Benjamin and Mazepin, of course, representing TGT. Will say TTG quite a lot, I'm sure, tonight. Mike, though, coming into tonight, we've had a run through the 10 teams that we've got. Very interesting lineup, I've got to say, and quite a few drivers there. Very familiar, some not so.
Yeah, a nice little mix between some familiar drivers and some not so familiar. I'm interested to see how guys that I've never been able to commentate over, I'm interested to see how they stack up to the established guys that I have seen. So obviously with G League, I don't think I've seen either G League driver. I might have seen Enzo for Team as One. I believe you said that they merged with Team as One.
They did, yeah. Team as One, I think, merged, I think it was about 2 weeks ago now. Part of G League now. I think it's a good move. I think, to be honest, it makes sense business-wise as well on the PlayStation side. They are looking forward to that. The drivers, I haven't even told that they're readying up, but we have got everybody in, so we can ready up now, which is very good. And it saves me actually putting a message in as well. But yeah, we can now get going, and hopefully everything is going to go according to plan around, of course, a circuit that is synonymous with hard, fair racing. 2021 Championship battle as well. 5.2 kilometres then 3.2 mile, 16 turns of the Abu Dhabi circuit, the Yas Marina circuit to give it its full name. 16 turns, as I say, and of course many DRS zones to try and get. Well, 2 DRS zones, I believe, one down in towards the back straight, in towards turn number 6 and 7, the first chicane, and then one down the old GP2 pit straight as well, in towards the left-hander of turn number 9, formerly, of course, the chicane of turn number 11. And Mike, we've commentated over Abu Dhabi so many times in the past. Looking forward to seeing how the drivers get on, especially the bumps have gone around this track as well on this game.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how everyone is able to adapt to how the track is on the new game, as well as obviously the layout, giving good opportunities for overtaking. I mean, obviously that chicane that used to be in between turn 4 and turn 5 gone. That chicane that used to be around where turn 9 is, that's gone. Giving good overtaking opportunities for these drivers. So it'll be interesting to see how they manage with the track layout changes, as well as the track itself and how it feels with less bumps up there.
Yeah, definitely. So it is going to be very interesting to see. And of course, we are not running the the former, of course, the F1 cars. We're not running them because of the tyre wear glitch that is going on currently within the game. We have these delightful beasts to commentate on, and this is, of course, the F1 World Car. PSGL PC are also using that right now as well, all because of this equal car glitch. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, in terms of the tyre wear, it's getting fixed within the next 2 or 3 weeks, so I've heard on the grapevine. So hopefully we will get to see some really good action out on track in the F1 World Cars in the meantime. I have set it to midnight as well. Unlike the conditions that we've currently got here in qualifying, today's 18 minutes worth of qualifying. Ignore the Q1 glitch there at the top end of your screen as well. And the first 2 drivers out on track, Mike, are both ET8 drivers, Sam Gamer Official and Dominic Nielsen. Both of them very, very consistent drivers. Sam Gamer, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he was in PSGL, and I believe he won a title, PSGL F1, I dare say season 27 or 28, did a fantastic job back in the day in PSGL. Has recently transferred over to PC as well, back on the PlayStation side. Looking forward to seeing how ET8 get on, judging by how they approached last season.
Yeah, absolutely, and 2 fantastic drivers to get this social race underway with. Obviously, Dominic and Sam wasting no time getting out there on track, looking to get a good banker in early on.
Yeah, definitely. So, Maze, that are saying in the chat, the EML old school cars there in the chat. Enjoy the race and may the best team win, says Jeff Barron as well. And we will enjoy the race indeed. We'll enjoy qualifying first and foremost. Their first bump there coming to the right-hander of turn number 15. But right on board with Dominic Nielsen on the run toward the line. I have just realised my Elgato was not working in terms of the audio. It should fix itself round about now. There we go. And now we get the car engines in. But unfortunately, Dominic Nielsen, after all of that mess up with my Elgato, was invalidated his lap. Terrible.
Yeah, and it was a strange place to invalidate as well. Looked like he just got a little bit too much onto the curb on the entry into turn 1.
Yeah, very, very strange indeed, and that is very much punishable. The track limits around here definitely differing from real life as well. Track limits much more harder, I've got to say, on this game, and these cars are much more hunkered down, as we'll see, hopefully, with Sam Gamer on the run towards the left-hander of turn number 6 and 7. The old chicane pretty much getting a bit of a real lock-in there, coming through turn 6 and 7. Now down the old GP2 pit straight through the left-hander of turn number 8. If the audio gets on your nerves in terms of the cars, let me know. I will mute the Elgato if it gets very, very bad. But Sam Gamer now coming to the middle sector with a 52.4, exactly where we want to expect, I think, the laps to show. Coming through the middle sector, of course, these cars are brand new, equal in performance, and as well as that, it brings everyone closer together in terms of the rating. As Sam Gamer now comes in toward the right-hand return number 11, then through the left-hand return number 13, then 14, miscounting right here, is now coming through the right-hander of turn number 15, and then in toward the right-hander of turn number 16, and Sam Gamer very much catching the car through the final couple of corners on the run to the line, 21.7 to start off the night, and that is a very respectful lap, I've got to say.
Yeah, that is a great banger from Sam, as you see Mazepin in behind with a 22.3, so 6/10 advantage for Sam Gamer already on the bankers.
Yeah, very, very good indeed. IGL, of course, in Mazepin. TGT driver, of course, here tonight. He's there in second. Leroy there going in third as well. Benjamin, I'm just on board with as well. The other TGT man. I told you I'd say TTG quite a lot. It is very hard for me to try and speak very quickly and say anagrams at the same time. But Benjamin very wide there, coming through the right hand of 14. In through 15 and 16. Evil Nick and Brent there going second and third. The Juventus Racing team looking very good, I've got to say, as Benjamin now comes on the run to the line and goes 7th, so not a bad run at all from him. Andreas has had a listen next lap and validate out the final corner. Dominic Nielsen as well, just preparing up for a lap, and the WSC man of Giova, apparently purple in the middle sector. However, I can confirm he's a second down, and Sam Gamer through that through the middle sector in a very good, nice looking purple and white livery, which represents the team colours very well indeed. And we will judge you on your livery. Do not get us wrong here in the commentary box. We will judge you on your livery. If you have a rubbish livery, we will out you on stream because it's a social race and because we haven't got next level racing much in us.
Yep, and we'll also judge you if you're not in the same car and you're representing the team.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, Dominic Nielsen is running the McLaren Chrome livery, and I can totally see why. The white is there for ET8, but come on, there's better liveries to run than that. Coming through the final couple of corners, actually, Dominic Nielsen on the run to the line should go second, I think, with this lap. Indeed doesn't. 12th. In the end, 22.7, disappointing potentially from his perspective. I believe he is the Dane driver there for the ET8 team. Ruffy as well, who might be getting roughed up potentially in the race. There's the first pun already out there. As now Ruffy comes into the left-hander of the middle sector. 52.7, 3/10 off Sam Gamer in that middle sector, but it's Sam Gamer out on top. It's Evil Nick there in second. Chris Hallett there in third for VIR as well. 32 of you tuning in, by the way. Thank you so much to everyone that is tuning in right now at this stage. Bass Bramer saying in the chat, I'm with my vacation these days. Good to see that you're on vacations, Baz. Hopefully you are doing well, and hopefully you're going to be doing a good job as well, whatever your pastures might be after leaving ET8 recently as well. As Ruffy now comes through the final couple of corners on the run toward the line, and he goes 10th, 22.496, and only 0.02 of a second off Andrew, Mike.
Yep, very close, Andrew, indeed, for Ruffy, and a lot of close times on the opening bankers. I mean, that little pack from Evil Nick all the way down to Ruffy, you know, just under, what, 0.4 of a second separating them?
Yeah, 0.4 of a second. I mean, Evil Nick, 22.1. You've got Sam Gamer, who's just an absolute goat, I think, within the lobby right now, with a 21.7, sitting very pretty at the top. Evil Nick, all the way down, actually, to Dominic Nielsen, down to 13th position, is separated by just over 0.6 per second. That is how close qualifying is so far here in the social race. It is a social race, albeit, but it is a good chance to see how the teams are faring up as well. Qualify night, by the way, if you did miss as well the launch show that I was promoting as well, Colonel Mason from Red Dragon Racing among the guests alongside me, ERT Kieran, now formerly ERT Kieran. Kept that one quiet if he's watching. Kieran, of course, joining, I believe, OP, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So very good move, I've got to say, from his perspective. But if you missed the launch show, I can say that the qualifying night is on the 30th of August. So plenty of time to get your sign-ups in. Sign-ups are currently open right now as well. You can join the link in the Discord if you do want to watch. And of course, we are sponsored by Next Level Racing. And that means, Mike, that the drivers' champions in EML, F1 and in F2, formerly Premier 1 and Premier 2, in F1 and F2 next season, do get the NLR FGT Lite, which we advertised.
Yeah, and that is a fantastic price to pick up. So there's definitely going to be some competitive and maybe some inter-team battles as well for that.
Oh, it definitely will be. It definitely will be. I'm hoping to get my own part of Next Level merchandise as well to try and advertise on the stream. There is a potential deal in the works for WOR, which I have been told about, and apparently I could be getting a new chair, which is very nice. Sam Gamer, though, might need a new chair coming out through the final couple of corners. This and Next Lab Invalidation as he was just preparing up onto his run at 21.7. He doesn't really need to improve. He could be quick at the session, I think, through the entirety. However, I believe TNR Andreas is now coming through the final couple of corners, and he is going to be next up on a lap. Formerly of TNR, he is representing the X Esports team, of course, here tonight as well. TNR, of course, the former Norwegian team that bound its name very well indeed in EML and TML in recent weeks, in recent years, and indeed in recent months as well from last season. As Andreas now comes through the right-hander of turn number 3, car killer corner as I normally called it, through the kink of 4, now then towards turn number 5. 17.3 in the first sector, respectful, but nowhere near what we saw from Sam Gamer earlier on, as he's very wide out of 5.
Yep, very wide out of 5 indeed for Andreas. And let's see, for Andreas right now, it's just about getting a lap on the board. I mean, that first lap he missed out. Now it's all about getting a lap on the board, and I don't believe I saw the big marker boards there on the run down into the chicane. So if they're gone, these drivers are going to have to really focus on their braking points.
Yeah, it is bad behaviour from somebody who has removed the brake marker boards. Andres through the middle sector, 52.9, about 5 tenths down on what we saw with Sam Gamer in that middle sector. NLR Wizzy there in the chat saying upper NLR, they're doing a fantastic job so far at this stage. Baz saying as well, sign me up as top tier comms, James. Unfortunately, top tier comms is already taken. It is not Mr. Ivan Mike joining me, unfortunately, this season. It is Mr. IRT Indigo, who you saw in Italy, did a fantastic job there in Monza. He's going to be joining me for EML F1 this season. EML F2, represented by Lesty and Mr. Cameron Dodds, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, as Andreas came to the line and went 12th.
Yeah, good lap from Andreas, get himself in the mix and in the midfield especially, and obviously you'll know there's more time there to gain.
Oh yeah, there's a lot more time to gain. In 12th position, there'll be a lot more time to gain. I mean, VIR as well. Andrew under the caution a little bit. He's a 10th and a half down in the middle sector. Chris Hallett there in 3rd, sitting pretty. Andrew, who we've been very familiar with in the past here, commentating an EML, Mike, down in 9th position. I've got to say, that's a little bit of a shock considering where we normally expect him to be. NLR Gabriel, by the way, his the other German that we've got in the lobby tonight as well. He actually qualified a pole position in the PSGL social races. Andrew's back in the pit lane, clearly not happy with that lap. Gabriel there in 5th position as well for NLR. Qualified pole position, did a very good showing, I've got to say, in that social race. It was lobby 2, I think, on Monday night. And Gabriel qualified pole position in Circle of the Americas. Him there in 5th position, I would not be surprised if he actually goes quicker than Sam Gamer. He's the only man that I can see actually going as quick as him.
Well, I mean, he is on a flying lap right now, so we will have to keep an eye on that. I mean, I believe we've seen improved times coming in from Brent and Chris Howard that have dragged them closer to Sam Gamer, so times are starting to come down now for the rest of the grid, and Sam missing out on that second run could end up being a bit costly.
Yeah, they are indeed. Gabriel's role running the Distort livery, beautiful blue and green that is shown, or green and blue I should say, primary green for NLR, and a 52.666 in the middle sector. Misses the apex actually coming out the left-hander of turn number 9, takes my line through there, and unfortunately that's why you take my line through there, because you pick up this next level validation from Gabriel. Looking pretty good up until that point. We did see improvements as well. I think Enzo has just gone 3rd, so good lap from him, and Taicho as well has just gone 4th, so good lap there from the team Valor Man. GL, of course, represented by Enzo tonight as well, and G-League doing a fantastic job there. In 3rd, it is Sam Gamer leading the way from Brent there in 2nd. Enzo there in 3rd. Liam W asking in the chat, did I just call Gabriel German? Yes, I did. And I believe he's not.
So we got referee to the line now, trying to get a lap on the board, but half a second down. That's not what he needs.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Indeed, I'm just trying to flick through as well in terms of improvements. There is roughly 5.5 tenths down, just completing his lap, I believe, there. We'll see if he's actually going on another run. No, he's not. He's 5 tenths down on the first sector, nowhere near what we're going to be expecting. The yellow flags there in the middle sector as well. That is just a driver ahead of Giova. I believe that is the man of Enzo that has backed off slightly in that middle sector. Leslie there saying in the chat, our very own Neymar of F1. Ruffy is German. Gabriel is Brazilian, apparently. That is a fun fact, because I think I've been calling him German throughout his PSGL F2 career. So, unfortunately, he is going to become an honorary German, I think, potentially. Otherwise, Brazil might just beat them 7-1 like they did in 2014.
Oh, you didn't have to bring that up.
I did. Cannot think of anything better than see the Brazilians getting whopped by the Germans.
I can.
You can. I mean, if Wales beat them 7-1, you'll be absolutely jumping for joy.
Oh, I was thinking about every single time they whop England.
which might happen in the Women's World Cup. Oh, there we go. Actually, no, you didn't qualify. So, unfortunately, you can't do that.
Wales never qualified for anything anymore. It's all good.
Well, Gareth Bale's pretty much retired now, so there's your best player gone.
Yep, it always happens. We produce 1 or 2 world-class players and then they retire and that's it. We're back into obscurity again.
It'll be another 66 years until you qualify for the World Cup, put it that way. Anyways, enough about the football slandering that we've got going on in the commentary box. It is 4 minutes to go here in PSGL. My God, in EML Masters League, it is, of course, a social race here in Abu Dhabi, and we have got drivers now preparing up for the lap, including the man of the VIR, man of Andrew, who's now coming through the final couple of corners. We'll see what he can do. Looking good, I've got to say, in terms of the sponsors. He's got Insanity there on the halo, so I'm already giving that at least a 5 out of 10 in terms of the livery. As he now comes through the left-hander of turn number 1, as my belt falls down on me, which is not the greatest look to have. As Andrew now comes through the right-hander of turn number 3, looking very good. Of course, running the minimalistic blue and green sort of livery that we've got with the VIR team. 17.2 in the first sector, not looking too bad at all.
10 fat at the moment for Andrew in the first sector. Middle sector and the final sector is where he's going to be able to find the time now. So we'll see how he handles the chicane in just a moment. Down into second gear. A little bit deep on entry, but guess the car turned in nice, I reckon.
Yeah, definitely so. A, two things have just happened. A, I've just got my water bottle, and B, I've just hit my elbow off my desk, which is not that great. 52.6 in the middle sector from Andrew, as he now comes through the left-hand of turn number 9. Very much twitchy, actually, coming out of turn number 9. It's so hard. The bump is still there coming through turn number 9. Get caught on that, you re-lock the car, and you basically get sent into a bit of an oversteer. That's what we had with Andrew coming through there, even from that camera angle. Coming through the left-hander now of turn number 4, TML Esports famously spun in 2021 and caused absolute carnage and robbed Hamilton of his 7th world title. As we now come through the right-hander of turn number 16 on the run toward the line with Andrew. 22.1, stays 9th, not a bad lap there at all, actually goes 7th in terms of the lap. 22.1 behind Nick, not a bad lap there at all, as we saw Brent actually go 2nd.
Yeah, Brent set that lap on his previous one. He's just starting a fresh lap now.
He is. That's what got me confused. He's there. He's coming through the left-hander of turn number 2, then through the right-hander of turn number 3. May say nice livery there for the VIR game. Yeah, very good livery, I've got to say. Juventus Racing as well. Very good livery that they've got going on with the purple and the orange, of course. And I believe they had a rebrand recently, if I'm not mistaken, as well. Did JR and Brent now on a run toward the left-hander of turn number 6. And I believe Brent is one of the only drivers, I think, on the grid, Mike, that you might have actually raced with. Unless I'm thinking there's somebody else.
I'm not entirely sure. You have to refresh my memory. My memory's not as good as it used to be.
League of Europe?
I know. I'm getting old now, mate. 30 years old now.
League of Europe by any chance?
I don't remember racing in League of Europe. I just remember feeling.
Terrible. 52.4 in the middle sector regardless, and Brent is doing a fantastic job. I've got to say, Juventus clearly being happy. They've lost their best driver in Yossi, looking to try and nurture the best talent coming through. Brent might just be that man as he now comes through the right-hander of turn number 15 and then through the right-hander once again of turn number 16. And Sam Gamer, Brent and Enzo currently in the top 3. Brent now on the run to the line. And he goes quicker than Sam Gamer. Big statement that there from Brent. Goes quicker. Sam Gamer is not improving. He's backed off in that middle sector. Enzo was just backed off, I think, onto a lap, actually. 21.9 is his current best. We'll see what he's doing through the first sector. The GL man, 17.1. I think he's quicker than Brent through the first sector. So we'll see in terms of the middle sector how he backs up. Taicho there as well, as Evil Nick has got a 5-place grid penalty for a collision with Dominic Nielsen. And is that coming to the final couple of corners at turn 14?
I believe so. The yellow flag's in. Drivers are stopping.
It is. Yeah, Evil Nick is off through turn 14, I think.
Yeah, both are retired from the session. I think they've come together. They maybe a little bit of traffic, a little bit of confusion, not being able to get out of the way in time, or someone just making a mistake in front of another driver.
Oh, Enzo's 52.421 in the middle sector, pretty much matching what we saw with Sam Gamer on his lap. It's Brent out on top, 21.759. Sam Gamer second, 21.781. But let's see what the GL man can do. Taicho, by the way, was purple, coming through the final couple of corners as well. Taicho on the run to the line. He goes 3rd. Will Enzo actually put it toward the top step? There's the wheel, actually, of Enzo. Sorry, not of Enzo, of Nick's car on the right-hand side. Now coming through the right-hand return, number 16 with Enzo on the run to the line. Big snap of oversteer. Might have cost him. It did. 21.891, and in the end, only 8 thousandths of a second off Taicho in the end, as Gabriel goes quickest. Gabriel goes quickest. What did I say earlier on? He's the only man that can beat Sam Gamer. Brent also included in that now as well. But NLR Gabriel is out on top. Absolutely obliterated the time. Shocked me. I didn't even see him on a lap. Gabriel out on top. Brent there in second, Sam Gamer there in third. I believe we are done from everyone. Time there coming in toward the pit lane as well. But it's Gabriel there out on top, Brent in second, Sam Gamer in third. What did I say about 4 minutes ago with Gabriel?
It's Mystic James once again, and what can we say?
Mystic James indeed. That is the first of many, many predictions that I'm hopefully going to get right, I think, in EML this season. Jav there saying in the chat, why is the stream so delayed? It is so delayed because I believe we're running on a 25-second delay in terms of my stream key. I apologise. I will try and fix it, of course, as we go forward on League Racing TV, but all of my stream keys are pretty much like that. Whenever I use them, cannot seem to find the right setting. It is Gabriel out on top from Brent there in second, Sam Gamer there in third, and Sam Gamer for a while, Mike, was what 4/10 crew of the rest of the field. Brent then came in with his 21.759, went quickest. Gabriel pretty much shocking everyone, but this man has got genuine pace on this game compared to PSGL F2 that he was in last season. This is a big step up, I've got to say, from Gabriel, and it's all for the better.
Yeah, massive step up from Gabriel, and just a word on Sam Gamer there. Obviously, not getting that lap in the second lap and the final lap really did cost him, because that was his banker.
Yeah, it really did. It really did. There's a question being asked by Tom, who I believe is part of the JR team. No restart due to an unfair 5-place grid penalty. Have a look at that. We'll see what Nathan says, or see what the admins say regarding that. It is in the manager's chat if you do want to have a look at that. It is Gabriel though out on top. NLR man beating the Aventus Racing team of Brent there in second, Sam Gamer there in third, Team Bala there in fourth for Taicho, Enzo there in fifth for G League, and then Chris Hallett in sixth for VIR. Juventus Racing again in seventh with Nick, then Andrew, Bumye and Leroy ran off the top 10. It is Ruffy, then Mazepin, then Maxime, Benjamin and Teve top 15. Not Tyne, as I said earlier on. Andreas, Dominic Nielsen, Coco, Stephen, Giova and Geordie, the 20 drivers that we've got on the grid. We have got the formation app as well on. I haven't received any confirmation potentially about a restart. Maze is just typing in the chat now, so I will let you know if there is going to be a restart. If there is, I'm going to get everything loaded back up and hopefully be as quick as possible for that. But it is a social race, and Maze is saying no, we are not restarting because it is a social race.
Maze has put his foot down. The final word has been spoken.
He always puts his foot down. He is a big, big foot stomper, I've got to say, that Maze. Even though we haven't had an interview with him in the commentary box, ever.
It's terrible. He avoids interviews with us. It's disgraceful behaviour, I think.
He's the man of mystery. He is the man of mystery. There's probably only rarely a couple of people that's actually heard what he's actually going on about. Which I think, not including me, I've got to say as well. But a fantastic qualifying session there, of course. Gabriel there out on top. And in the end, I believe we had 6 different teams filling out the top 6 positions.
Yeah, and that is a testament to how competitive this grid is.
Wait, what?
5 red lights?
I've put the formation app on. Wait, what? 5 red lights are coming on. And it is lights out and away we go. Apparently, well, I don't think we're going to get a restart for this either, but we are heading towards turn number 1, and Gabriel leads the way. Brent there in second, Sam Gamer there in third. Everyone has pretty much been absolutely put under the cosh with this restart. Brent there in third. It's just been outdone by Sam Gamer around the outside. Benjamin has spun in the background there as well. Is Gabriel that lead? Sam Gamer second, Brent there in third, and Enzo down to the inside line of turn number 5. Gets contacted there in the back, and there's all sorts of carnage in the background as well. There's somebody off in the background. That is Mazepin and Andreas getting caught up in an incident as well. More incidents further down the field. Giova, Andrew, Taicho all getting caught up in incidents as well. But Gabriel leads the way side by side there with Sam Gamer. Sam Gamer to the inside line, in toward the left-hand of turn number 6, gets the job done to the inside line. Gabriel there in second, Brent there in third, Chris Hallett with a good start there in fourth, Bumye in there in fifth as well, and Enzo and Maxime are being caught up with each other throwing, I think as well. The GL team dropping down the field, but it is Sam Gamer that leads, Gabriel second, Brent there in third. So far so good from the top end of the field. Bottom end of the field, absolute carnage as Ruffy and Teba side by side.
Yeah, Ruffy doing well to defend from T there. But yeah, as you mentioned, absolute carnage. I think a lot of people got caught off guard with the no formation lap. Sam came on a set of mediums, so doing exactly what he needed to do. Get ahead of Brent and Gabriel and get himself into the race lead. Now he can try and pull away on the quicker compounder tyre.
I definitely say, and I will argue this to my heart's content, that I did put formation lap on and I double checked the settings before I actually set them up. So that comes to show we have got a little bit of a glitch maybe in terms of the settings there with the formation lap. But it's Sam Game that leads the way. Gabriel there in second, Brent there in third. Let's have a look at the early position changes. Everyone, by the way, either on a set of mediums or on a set of hard compounder tyres. Chris Hallett there on a set of hards. He's on the back of Brent, who's also on that same compounder tyre. Drivers into the pit lane include Mazepin, Andrew and Taicho right from the top end of the field. Taicho there right down in 20th position now. Team Valor not getting up to the greatest start whatsoever. And their other driver as well. I'm just trying to pick up on where he might be. And I forgot who that driver is, but Leroy down the inside line for the IRT team gets the job done on Bumyane. Bumyane, in fact, has actually gone for spin, coming through the left-hand turn number 6, and unfortunately not getting hung like a cow like Hulkenberg.
Yep, avoiding the Hulkenberg treatment there. I was just quickly checking the settings and to make sure it was all right, but doesn't appear to be safety car on either.
Safety car apparently is not on either. I did set it to standard and I did set it to immersive. Definitely set it to immersive. So that I think is just maybe a bit of a glitch that we got. Maybe with the F1 World Cars, I don't know. It is a social race though, so we can learn lessons from these things. Certainly, we missed that as well. Ruffy and Nick were side by side coming to the left-hand turn number 9. Ruffy in the end having to drop back on Nick. They remain 6th and 7th for now. Everyone, by the way, on a set of mediums are Sam Gamer, Leroy, Teeb, Dominic Nielsen, Coco Stephen, and Geordie and Maxime still out there on the set of mediums. Everyone that came in down at the bottom end of the field, 18th, 19th, and 20th on a set of mediums. Everyone else that I haven't mentioned is on a set of hard compounder tyres. It's Sam Gamer that leads. Gabriel second, Brent there in third, but getting very close indeed in the background. Coco Stephen right on the back of Dominic Nielsen running down the straight as Ruffy is passing Nick.
Yeah, and I was just on board with Dominic Nielsen. Locking up the rear tyres going into turn 5. Definitely doesn't look like he's got his brakes the way he wants. As
gone straight on.
Yeah, and that's a time penalty immediately for Dominic Nielsen. But yeah, he doesn't look very confident under the brakes, does Dominic.
Now, rear locking is such a big factor in this game as well. Drivers are finding that out in the F1 World Cars and indeed in the real life F1 cars as well. It is very hard to come by. Rear locking does and probably will happen. But look at the lead for Sam Gamer. 1.5 seconds over Gabriel there in second. Gabriel's having to try and fend off Brent and Chris Hallett, who are having a fight coming through the end of the final sector here. I'll have a look at the position gains actually, because all of that contact has spawned Geordie up 9. Stephen up 8, Dominic Nielsen up 8, Teeb up 7. There is a spinner in the middle sector somewhere. That is Benjamin or Enzo. Enzo is the one that is round coming through the left hand of turn number 14, which is disappointing for him. But position gains up and down the field just come to show, Mike, that we have had absolute carnage on the first 3 laps. And I expect things to get a lot more chaotic, shall we say, a little bit later on as Benjamin is retired into the pit lane, maybe as a bit of contact.
Yeah, potentially Benjamin the pits retiring from the race, and as you said, yeah, carnage in the opening laps, and honestly, I think it comes down to just being slightly unprepared without the formation lap, and you know, just the nature of this game with the rear lock-in and how it can absolutely.
If he gets that done with rear locking into turn number 6 like that, I will give him money, but he's not, because Dominic Nielsen is getting back past down the straight and he has got the speed. So luckily I keep a fiver in my pocket and Dominic Nielsen keeps 8th position as well, ahead of Teeb, with Coco Stephen there in 10th, and also Maxime and Geordie side by side, nearly. And Evil Nick is out of the race, crashing out, coming through the left-hander of turn number 9. That would deploy a safety car, but apparently, because there's no safety car actually on, that means we're not going to get any.
Yeah, I was on board with Evil Nick there. Just the back end snapping out on him.
Teeb in the wall. Teeb in the wall as well. I'm not sure if he's got damage. He certainly will have damage, I think. It's surely going to be him into the pit lane. Right side end plate damage, at least on that car. Smashing into the wall. Or left side end plate damage into the car. Smashing into the wall. And Teeb there for the Esports team has retired from the race as well, which is unfortunate. But this is a social race. If you want to get a big sense of evaluation and evaluate your drivers and evaluate the teams, this is probably the best way to do it, as Maxime's on the back of Geordie in towards the left-hand of turn number 5, tries to make it look like Verstappen and Hamilton to the inside line of turn number 5, doesn't get the job done through there, and Boumier's going to have a really good run on these two as well, and it could be 3, maybe even 4 wide down the straight as well, as Boumier now is going to get a real good double toe to the inside line, down in towards turn number 6. This should be job done for Boumier, and the Dutchman now for the IRT team is through with a very late braking Andreas, I think, in the background there, but Boumier's through, and he's into 9th there from Maxime and Geordie and Andreas without the timing tower. I've got to say, I did very well to pick up on that. Andreas very late on the brakes in the background as Teeb has left the session, and there was another yellow flag in the middle sector, and I believe that's Andrew round again.
Yeah, I believe that's is it Andrew around, or he's just been overtaken by Ticho down the long DRS straight, but no DRS for Ticho. Andrew backing off massively. I'm wondering if he's going to come into the pits and retire.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. He spun coming through the left-hand of turn number 5, which is why I think he got overtook in the end by, as you say, Ticho there. Team Valor doing a good job there in 14th. Andrew as well, 15th. I wonder if he's got maybe like rear wing damage or something, because he is losing a lot of time, I've got to say, on the back of Ticho there. Gabriel, by the way, now within a second on Sam Gamer for the race lead, which is going to be very interesting indeed to watch out for. Sam Gamer leading the way by 9/10 of a second, and for the first time in the race, apart from, I think, lap 3, Gabriel now within the DRS range once again. Chris Hart's catching him very quickly indeed, though. VIR against NLR. We saw this, I think, very familiarly with Imola, as Leroy's going to pass Brent round the outside and towards turn number 6. Lovely move that by Leroy. That is how you sell your apples to a Frenchman. And Leroy there is 4th, Brent there in 5th, Ruffy there as well, right on the back of these guys as well, but I don't think Ruffy's got the speed maybe to keep up with the back there of Brent. Brent looks toward the inside line, but doesn't get the job done. But that was a lovely move from Leroy, gets the job done, holds him, and holds 4th, Brent there in 5th, and Ruffy cannot find his way through and looks like a rough old dog in 6th.
Yeah, Ruffy was looking for alternative lines through turn 9 to try and get a run on Brent. Unable to get it done though, he just got cut off at the crucial moment. But these 3 scrapping it out for P4, giving us a bit of a show, and then we got the top 3 about to do battle.
Yeah, and speaking of the top 3, Sam Gamer very, very sideways coming out through the final corner. Sam is struggling, I've got to say. Gabriel, all of a sudden, is on the back of him. I wonder if ET8 have given team orders here, maybe, for him to hold up Gabriel, just save a bit of ERS, and then use it to try and lure him in into a bit of a trap. VIR and NLR, by the way, in terms of the point I was going to make until we got cut off by a battle. NLR and VIR, I think they're the first time battling out maybe since Imola last season. I remember Imola last season between these two. Both the teams fought out very well indeed. And here we go, ET8 now with Sam Gamer to the inside line. On the outside there is Mr... Hang on, I can't do this without... It's Gabriel, of course, there with Chris Hallett. And Gabriel gets a phenomenal run out coming through the corner. And Chris Hallett now is going to try and jump on the ERS as well. He'll look towards the inside line. He might actually get put on the wall here if he's not careful. Tries to thread the eye of the needle through the middle. Parts the Red Sea like Moses, and oh my god, Gabriel around the outside trying to get the job done on Sam Gamer, coming out of turn number 9, passing the Marina on the right hand side, now in towards turn number 11, and Gabriel gets the job done. Perfect poise there from Gabriel to take the race lead. Sam Gamer there in 2nd, Chris Hallett there in 3rd, and Gabriel has just sold Sam Gamer to the absolute chips, but with a big sideways moment coming out of 14.
Yeah, and in the background, double joy for NLR as Ruffy manages to do a double overtake and get past both Brent and Leroy for P4.
Gabriel very wide coming through the final corner as well. Baz saying there in the chat the Hards are in their prime now. You can definitely tell they're in their prime. Sam really struggling on that set of medium compound tyres. Chris Hallett there on that set of hards coming into play as well. But we saw with Chris, he looked like he was going to get the double toe on both of them. In the end, didn't. Gabriel then got the toe on Sam Gamer, well, waltzed around the outside line of turn number 9 to get that one done. And Chris Hallett, I think, with 70% of ERS, Mike, is going to absolutely have these guys down the straight. Surely, look at the speed now of Chris Hallett to the inside line. He is going to be ahead going in towards turn number 6, surely. Chris Hallett to the inside line. VIR now in first position. ET8 though, with Sam Gamer on this contact. Sam Gamer makes contact with him, tries to send him around the right way. He didn't in the end. Sam Gamer in the end dropping down the field. Contact happened. And that, unfortunately, is what happens when you stick a nose wing up the inside line in toward the left-hander of turn number 6.
Yeah, and I think Ruffy may have got an illegal overtake on Sam Gamer because he let Sam Gamer back through, but Leroy taking full advantage of it, takes P2 off the pavement.
And I wonder if Sam Gamer maybe picked up a little bit of damage in that as well. Maybe off the left side end plate damage if there is any. However, as Baz is saying in the chat quite clearly, mediums are already dead as a part of that. But yeah, Sam just needed to try. He should have just backed off the move. Simple as that. I'm not sure if there was a little bit of desync potentially between them both. But you do not stick your wing up and inside of a car, especially in towards a chicane like turn 6 and 7 here in Abu Dhabi. So unfortunate, I've got to say, from Sam Gamer, doing a fantastic job up until that stage. But Mike, he's on that set of mediums. The mediums are looking short. Leroy's just got ahead of him as well in second. This is now Ruffy's chance to shine, and perhaps Brent's time to shine as well. He's sitting there pretty in 5th with 22% of ERS.
Yeah, I mean,
oh,
Brent
and he's spun! He nearly spun coming out of turn number 5. Great car control though. Sam Gamer is now going to try and come at Leroy once again down the straight into the left-hander of turn number 6. Should be easy for Sam Gamer, not sticking his front wing up the inside of anyone this time. And Sam Gamer actually goes very, very deep into the corner this time around. And look at Ruffy. Ruffy gets the phenomenal exit. Leroy gets a better exit though. And now threads the Island Needles right through the middle. Ruffy now is going to pick up 2 for 1, surely, around the outside line in towards turn number 9. And Ruffy for the TGT team is through, surely around the outside on. He can't find the move done. Coming through turn number 9, and in the end has to settle back into 3rd because Leroy is back into 2nd, and it's still very close-knit racing, which is what we like to see.
Yeah, and Brent getting through on Sam Gamer as well for P4, so Brent making an overtake as well. Sam Gamer dropping through the order now on those mediums. Yeah,
definitely so. TGT, of course, are Benjamin and Mazepin, I believe. Of course, Mr. Oh my god, I can't even find his name. He's NLR. He's NLR. What am I on about? Ruffy is NLR. God almighty. I am absolutely not with it tonight. Gabriel leads the way. Leroy there in 2nd. Ruffy there in 3rd. It's because he's in a green livery. Let's just put it that way. It's because he's in the green livery. Let's just blame it on the F1 World Car for once. Brent on the back of Ruffy as well. Looking very good. But Sam Gamer's tyres surely gone. Why is he staying out though? I was going to say, is there a threat of rain? Obviously not, because it's sunny and it's on midnight as well. As Ruffy is on the back of Leroy, running down the straight here in toward the left-hander at turn number 6. There should be job done for the NLR man, and it now makes it an NLR 1-2. So Ruffy there up into 2nd, Leroy there in 3rd, and Sam Gamer is so late on the brakes again. 3-second penalty. There's only so many chances you can get, and unfortunately there's only so many chances you can take as well. And Sam Gamer, 3-second penalty. And judging by his lateness on the brakes there, I think actually well deserved.
Yeah, I wasn't on board with Sam Gamer, so I didn't quite see it, but if you say it, I'm going to believe you.
Yeah, he was so late on the brakes. He got caught on the outside curb coming through turn number 6. If that was EML, and that was a 3-second penalty, he might look into getting that removed if he could, but of course, normally in EML you can't get 3-second penalties removed. TML is the same for that reason as well. But we are seeing now penalties begin to hook up as well. Sam Game's still not in the pit lane. Clearly happy with the tyres that he's on. Clearly getting caught as well by Bumye as well on that sort of hard compound of tyres. He's doing a great job. Dominic Nielsen there in 8th. There are battles further down the field as well. Penalties, by the way, early on. Sam Game at 3. Bumye on 3. And Maxime has just gone straight into the back of Coco Stephen, coming through the left-hander turn number 1.
Yeah, and I was just about to say that Dominic Nielsen is dragging this trainer, Andreas Maxine and Coco, onto the DRS at the back of Bumpy, Sam and Brissona, and it's just that one mistake there for Maxime, and yeah, that's completely gone now. Here's
Andreas, though, on the back of Dominic Nielsen, the McLaren Chrome livery, which, of course, is getting a bit of a refit for the Silverstone Grand Prix this weekend. If you have seen the livery, it looks absolutely shocking, as now Andreas is right on the back of him and looking to try and put the McLaren Chrome livery in its place, and he has indeed, down the outside line, down the straight, in towards turn number 9, and that is easy for Andreas, putting the Google Chrome disgusting livery in the background of shot, and Dominic Nielsen down in 9th position, Andreas up to 8th.
Yeah, and looking at the gap between Ruffy and Gabriel, Ruffy's closed in by half a second.
He has 3.7 seconds. I wonder if it's Gabriel maybe taking a little bit too much out of its tyres, or maybe it's just ERS management. It's neither at the minute, really. Ruffy just beginning to get a little bit quicker. Maybe the orders have been Gabriel just to back off, Ruffy to try and catch, bring Leroy, Brent and Chris Hallett back into the race. As, speaking of Leroy, very wide out of turn number 1. Is the IRT man. Luckily he keeps the car in a straight line, and Leroy, of course, there in 3rd. I think recently joining IRT, given that he was formerly of QRT, he's there in 3rd position on that set of medium compound tyres. But those mediums, I've got to say, compared to Sam Gamer, who was very much hell for leather at the start of the race, Leroy's held onto his tyres really well.
Yeah, I think the issue with Sam has been the braking. He's locked up the rears a fair few times in comparison to Leroy. So I think he's just taking more life out of those tyres through locking up.
Do you think that's that transition potentially? Because I know he has raced on PC, I think, on the last game. Do you think that's that transition between PC and PS? Hold that thought. We are going to get battles as Leroy's on the outside line and Ruffy and Chris Hallett's through on Brent as well. Round the outside goes Leroy into turn number 9. And that is how you sell Ruffy for a new kidney. Leroy through and he's into 2nd. Lovely move there on Ruffy. And Ruffy there, roughed up by that one. Leroy, his medium's clearly still working. And he's through and he's into 2nd. Very nice job. And Chris Hallett also through to 4th.
Yeah, back on the, let's go what you were saying, I think that is going to play like a factor for Sam Gamer transitioning from PC back to console.
Leroy in.
He has Leroy in.
Yeah, Leroy into the pit lane. It's not that early, to be honest. It is similar to what we saw on the last game. There's been contact further down the field. Geordie and Maxime, I think, have made contact coming to the right-hand return number 14, and Maxime's just nearly gone into the back of him, coming into the pit lane there as well. Geordie will remain ahead into the pit lane. Maxime there making contact with them both in, maybe with a bit of front wing damage as well on the car. We'll get to the battle for 3rd, though, in the meantime. Chris Hallett there and Brent 3rd and 4th position, doing a fantastic job. Gabriel leads from Ruffy in 2nd. Chris Hallett there in 3rd. We are nearly halfway through here in Abu Dhabi. Myself, James Head, and Ivor Bryn Mike taking to the action here tonight as well. And it's Gabriel that leads from Ruffy there in 2nd. Brent there in 3rd, but we have got action further down the field. There was a car pulling out, and that is actually a lap car pulling out. Absolutely scaring the living daylights out of me. As Brent's on the back of Chris Hallett. It is blue flags in the middle sector. I got shocked. I thought there was somebody overtaking, but there wasn't.
I'll tell you what, Leroy's picked a great time to come into the pits because he's come out in a lot of fresh air.
He has, and he's got a 9.2 second gap to Giova, and Giova there in 9th, doing a good job. WSC pretty much under the cosh, I think, tonight, certainly. One of their drivers, of course, not already out of the race. Both of their drivers still continuing. Giova there in 9th. Colga Stephen getting caught up in that contact early on as well with Enzo, I believe. Enzo now ahead of him out on track. Colga Stephen there in 12th. Doing a good job. He has to try and keep that under wraps, though, at this stage. Leslie there saying in the chat, this practice for comms and for drivers. It is indeed. Thank goodness I'm not going to be rusty after this one. Gabriel leads the way. Ruffy there in 2nd. Chris Hallett there in 3rd. Chris Hallett, though, turning back attention to VIR. They had a really good battle, as I mentioned, with Imola last season in EML, where both teams went absolutely hammer and tongs. I believe VIR came on top that day. Chris Hallett there in 3rd. New name to us, certainly. I haven't seen him race. Doing a good job on the back of Ruffy. He's got slightly more ERS as well, or slightly less ERS, about twice the amount of ERS as Ruffy has got compared to Chris Hallett. But Chris looking very, very quick, I've got to say, on the hards. Maybe through the corners, he's not just as exciting in that car.
Yeah, not to forget as well, he had the instant for Sam Gamer early on, so he's on a bit of recovery.
Here he comes.
Back through. And here he comes back up in a second.
Yeah, eats my words, certainly, as disrespected him slightly there. Chris Hallett through and he's into 2nd. Ruffy there in 3rd, Brent there in 4th. Yeah, you mentioned with Sam Gamer, he made that contact a little bit earlier on. Sam Gamer still in this battle, actually. He's hanging on by an absolute grim thread there in 5th. Tato there saying in the chat, Ruffy's going to push now. I hope he does. Ruffy with 0.2 of a second off the back of Chris Hallett. If I was him, I'd be looking maybe to come into the pit lane. We saw with mediums how fast they go off. We should be seeing the drivers in from around lap 20. Actually, no, Chris Hallett is in. Chris Hallett is into the pit lane. I was literally saying this is normally the time where we see everyone transitioning from a set of hards to a set of mediums. Chris Hallett then into the pit lane. And this, I've got to say, puts everyone now on notice just how far is he going to get on those mediums before they crack.
Yeah, and obviously with Chris going on a set of mediums now, like the gap between him and Leroy is going to be decent size. I think Leroy will have a fantastic lead over Chris Hallett as he exits the pits now.
2.5 seconds.
Only 2.5.
Probably about 2.5. 2.5 seconds, dead on.
Mystic James once again strikes for a second time. What I'm confused about is the fact that Sam's leaving it so late to pit off those mediums.
He is, and I wonder if it is to transition onto a set of softs towards the end of the race. I might be mad and thinking that, but judging the way he's approaching this race so far, and judging the way his tyres were in the first 7 laps of the race, and he was really aggressive with them, he's had a chance now to save them up a little bit. He's had the chance to save a little bit of tyre wear as Coco Stevens threw on Enzo further down the field. He's had that chance. He's getting back into his rhythm as well. He's looking like a different Sam Gamer compared to what we saw in the early stages, but he should be still continuing on, I think, as Brent is into the pit lane. And Sam Gamer, I wonder if he knows that the overcut is more powerful than the undercut, and that's why he's doing this.
Well, we'll see whether the overcut is powerful or not, because we've got Chris and Brent to keep an eye on you. Chris did just overtake Brent before coming into the pits, so we'll see what the gap is between him and Brent.
There's a yellow flag out in the pit lane, I believe that is. Let's have a look. Dominic Nielsen's coming out pit lane, so it's not him. I believe it is Brent, is it?
Oh, Brent's just come out of the pits.
Oh no, it's somebody... It's a lap car, is it? I'm absolutely confused. It's Mazepin. It's him. It's Mazepin down at 17th position. Getting me completely confused. I thought somebody crashed in the pit lane. Mazepin has, I think, let everyone through coming out of turn number 1 after a spin, maybe. So that is him down in 17th. And Mazepin, more like Mazespin at the bottom end of the field. Sorry, I had to get that one in.
Just to confirm, Chris Hallett pitting 1 lap before Brent. 4 seconds, the undercut advantage.
Yeah, 4 seconds the undercut. And do you know what? He's 1.5 seconds off Leroy, catching him. And he's looking very good as he does that as well. As Bumier's going to get the move done on Dominic Nielsen toward the inside line, in towards turn number 9. It should be very much easy pickings for the IRT man. Waste there saying in the chat, saying Mazepin. Mazespin, maybe? I don't know. Enzo on the back of Coco Stephen and nearly 3 wide actually in the background as Giova tries to go around the outside. There is Ruffy into the pit lane. Sam Gabe is still continuing on. And look at Coco Stephen to the inside line. Fighting back grimly on the back of Enzo, who picks up a 3-second penalty for going out wide. Coco Stephen round the outside of turn number 11. Beautiful stuff. If you can hold this, they get caught in each other slightly. He holds that position. Great move there actually by the WSC man. And now in a WSC sandwich with Dominic Nielsen spinning in front as well. So Mazepin going out of the way, coming through. Very confusing, these guys, I've got to say. Coco Stephen, they're in 10th, fighting off Enzo. Nice job, and he actually nearly got bottomed out on the curb on the exit of the final corner there as well.
Yeah, and another thing as well, Ruffy coming out behind Brent, so the undercut looks to be a bit better than the overcut.
It's Chris Hallett. Chris Hallett's on the back of Leroy. Sorry to cut you off, Mike. Chris Hallett passing Leroy down the straight. He's catching so quick on those mediums. The tyre difference must be anywhere between 1 second and 2 seconds a lap, and Chris Hallett has proven that. He's through and he's into 3rd. Leroy's going to try and fight him back down the straight if he's got the speed. I don't think he has. And the RT man, unfortunately, he's going to be down in 4th. Chris Hallett there in 3rd. Good job from him. And Brent there now fighting on the back of Ruffy. I believe Ruffy, if I'm not mistaken, may have got the move done in towards turn number 1 on this lap.
I believe it was with DRS down in towards the chicane.
Ah, DRS into the chicane. Oh, I saw a move. I think it might have been Brent passing Ruffy, potentially. I saw another move, and I think it was Brent passing Ruffy. So, yeah, you've corrected me on that one. Thank you. Gabriel in.
Yep, Gabriel in. Sam continuing on for another lap. Chris Hallett with a new fastest lap, and how close is he going to beat Gabriel here? Is he going to jump him? I think he is.
Miles ahead. Miles ahead. And Gabriel coming out the pit lane is going to be somewhere in the region of about 2 to 3 seconds behind Leroy coming out the pit lane. It's going to be more toward the 3 seconds mark, I think. 2.3, 2.4, not too far off actually. I'd say it in between 2 and 3, pretty much spot on again. And Gabriel there in 4th position is there behind Leroy. He's on the fresher tyres though, he's on much fresher rubber compared to Chris Hallett, much fresher rubber compared to Leroy. This should be one-way street. However, Abu Dhabi, racing around here. First chance that we've got to see the F1 cars, the F1 World cars, I've got to say, in action on League Racing TV as well. Phenomenal to commentate on. Gabriel, though, surely is going to have Leroy and Chris Hallett's number every day of the week. But where is Sam Gamer going to come out? Is Sam Gamer potentially going to come out behind Andreas? And is he going to dare decide to come in the pit lane as Andrews retired the other VIR man in the pits?
Honestly, I think Sam might come up behind Bumpier.
You think? Gap is... Let's check the gap. Gap between Sam Gamer and Bumye is 18.6 seconds. Pit stop around here, I believe, is around 19 seconds. So Sam Gamer now, actually, speaking of which, is into the pit lane. For the ET8 team, he is leading the way, or now formally leading the way, because Chris Hallett will lead by around about 2 seconds. Coming across the line from Leroy in second, Gabriel will be in third. Sam Gamer into the pit lane. His car now takes into his pit box. Beautiful red and white livery as well on the car, paying homage to the Sunderland fans that are among us here in the commentary box. And what did I say as well, Mike, a little bit earlier on with this strategy?
Yeah, you did say you'll transition to the sauce, and I think I got my prediction right as well, because he come up behind Bumpier.
He did come out. He's actually came out behind Dominic Nielsen, of all people, as well. So that is a big shock. So he's come out behind Dominic Nielsen. I'll give you that one, though. It is just one position off in the end. But there are the pit stops that everyone's made. Everyone's made at least one pit stop in this race as well. Cloud just beginning to build over the circuit. The gap between... Chris Hallett also holding the fastest lap of the stage as well. But Sam Gamer, set us off compound tyres. He's going to be absolutely lightning quick. He's so lightning quick. Dominic Nielsen has decided to get out of the way and been pushed before he's ran. Sam Gamer through and he's into 8th. Dominic Nielsen there in 9th. And Gabriel through and he's into 2nd as well.
Yep, getting past Leroy, and those mediums will allow the likes of Ruffy and Brent to close up to the back of Leroy and get within that penalty window as well.
They are indeed. Another yellow flag is Mazepin once again. The man down in 16th position, spinning once again, coming through turn 1. To be fair, there are better ways to end off this race. There are worse ways to end off this race. At least he's still continuing on. Unlike Henry Teeb, Evil Nick and Benjamin, who all retired for various reasons, I'm sure. But at least he's continuing on as Enzo has crashed out, coming through the left-hander of turn number 9. That would be a safety car. Leroy's just gone completely wide, coming through turn number 1 as well, as I ride on board with him. Chris Hallett leading though, but for how long?
Yeah, that is the question. Gabriel setting a new fastest lap on the previous lap, and he's absolutely flying right now.
He is absolutely flying right now. 1.2 seconds the gap, carving into the gap around 8 or 9 tenths a second per lap at this stage, the NLR man. And of course, he's got Ruffy right there in 3rd. And do you know what? Ruffy's coming at Leroy for 3rd position in toward the inside of turn number 6. Tries to get the job done, doesn't. Andreas tries to get the job done, doesn't. Sam Gamer will try and get the job done, and Bumye to the outer line on the brakes in towards turn number 6. Can't, and Bumye puts him now with a bit of a park on the bus there, coming through 6 and 7 as Ruffy is through on Leroy. He's through and he's into 3rd, and now surely Sam Gamer, those tyres don't go off. He's surely going to get this job done toward the inside line and toward turn number 9. Inches apart as we come pretty much across towards the wall. That's one way to try and get past. There's another way to try and force your move through as well, which I think partly is the reason why Sam Gamer made a little bit of contact there. Enzo was retired. Mazepin has retired as well, coming out through the final corner. So that is him into the wall, maybe into the pit wall there potentially as well from Mazepin. Down there in 16th, out of the race. Sam Gamer though through, and he's into 7th. Could that be classed as a bump to pass if it was EML real time? I'm not sure.
I mean, I came onto that battle a little bit late as they were coming into the break-in zone. I saw a little bit of wheel banging, but battle for the race lead now, heating up 4 tenths of a second. Gabriel on the back, Chris Hallett.
Yep, Chris Hallett in the front there of Gabriel. Gabriel now on the back. 30% of ERS being used up. DRS being used up. No ERS being used up. Actually, to Gabriel's advantage. Might not need it, but he's gonna back off, and I know exactly what NLR have potentially got planned here. Because Ruffy now in 3rd, 2.3 seconds behind. Gabriel currently holding 2nd and 3rd for NLR. However, he's going to go on the ERS now. He's going to go for the overtake. So that is going to bring my point to a complete end in terms of that. Gabriel now takes the race lead. Chris Hallett there in 2nd. But How much tyre life has Chris Hallett taken out of those mediums? That is the big question now. If he hasn't taken too much out of them, he's going to fight a Gabriel, and this is going to be an 8-lap war towards the end of the race. If he has taken quite a lot out of those tyres than what we saw with Sam Gamer earlier on, he's only going to be going one way, and that's behind Ruffy and potentially Leroy, Brent and Andreas before the race is over.
Yeah, and speaking of that gap to Ruffy, that has come down quite considerably as well. And Chris is already outside that 1 second window on Gabriel.
Yeah, definitely so. Definitely so, indeed. Gabriel there leading the way from Chris Hallett there in second, Ruffy there in third. Interesting comment, by the way, elsewhere, as Brent ran the outside of turn number 1, just late to the battle, but beautiful move by Brent. And now Andreas right involved in this, as you mentioned, Mike. Involved coming through the right-hand of turn number 3. He's on the back of Leroy. Leroy might be paying time for those tyres as well. They're certainly going off. Andreas coming alive in this race as well all of a sudden. But Brent around the outside of turn number 1. Beautiful move. Got that job done. He's into 4th, and Andreas maybe swiftly to follow suit on the back of Leroy. However, Leroy is coming back at him down the straight, and the red fuel light flashing on the back end as here comes Leroy to the inside line of turn number 6, indicates that the ERS is low. Doesn't need it to get this move done, maybe to the outside line of turn number 7. Bit of contact between them both, and Leroy, how on earth he's actually come out of that on top is beyond me, but he is through, and here comes Andreas once again. Andreas now to the outside line, gets the job done. Brent now fighting on Leroy. Fantastic battle, I've got to say. This is for 4th, 5th and 6th. Fantastic battle. It could be the battle for the lead between these guys. Leroy hanging on to 5th, but for how long? Because Brent now to the inside on the Dutchman, towards the inside line to try and fight the move for the Aventus Racing team, to the inside line of the right hand of turn number 12, to the left hand of 13, to the left hand of 14. Leroy shoves him off track. Fair racing between them both, and Leroy just about comes out on top.
Yeah, that was absolutely fantastic for half a lap battling between Leroy, Brent and Andreas. Andreas with a fantastic double overtake as well, just timed that to perfection.
Yeah, beautiful racing between the guys, but look what it's done. Look what it's done. Mr. Sam Gamer, now with those wearing softs, I've got to say, I can already see blistering on the rear right tyre on that car. On the F1 World Car, of course, if you are unfamiliar with these F1 World Cars, we are running them because, of course, of the tyre wear glitch that we've currently got and the tyre delta glitch that we've got currently in the game. As I say, at the start of the stream, I believe it is going to be 2 weeks, as Ruffy on the back of Chris Hallett in toward the left hand of 6. Close enough, no cigar. Brent close enough, no cigar, potentially on the back of Leroy. To the outer line at turn number 6. Doesn't get the job done. Leroy hangs on, and they're getting very much caught in each other. Ruffy, though, gets the job done on Chris Hallett in all of this battle. He's into second, and Brent is going to try and have Leroy. Leroy's going to try and have Andreas down the straight as well. And it could well be, if we're not careful, 3 wide coming out of turn number 9.
Leroy going to try and hang it all the way around the outside. Can he get this move stuck? And yes, he can.
Beautiful. Geordie is out of the race. The DRA man of Geordie, of course, the other TV8 man, along with Ticho, he is out of the race there in 13th. Ticho there in 14th as well. TV8, I've got to say, considering this is their first pretty much big team event that they're doing on PlayStation, I think they're doing a fantastic job. Of course, more familiar with PC, more familiar with Xbox, opening up the PS side, not great from their behalf. Here's Sam Gamer, though, to try and outskill the Aventus Racing team man of Brent to the inside line of turn number 1, and that is how you get a move done. In towards turn number 1, little bit forceful. Then he's into 6th, though, from Sam Gamer, and that is making up for lost time.
And I just want to point out, these guys battling have allowed Bombier to get almost into this train as well.
Yeah, Bombier, what, a second off these guys, might be just outside of DRS range, potentially. He is. He's outside of DRS range, coming out through the section point. Here's Leroy once again, under pressure from Andreas, and Andreas, like, literally being shot out of a cannon, getting the job done. He's through, he's into 4th, and Sam forced to the inside line, and that is late, and the ghosting system fails in the F1 World Cars, because Leroy's caught up in that instant as well. Sam, goodness me. Easily avoidable once again. Could have easily just tried to get that done on the brakes. Leslie saying super battling for P4. It was good while it lasted.
Yeah, no, honestly, that was desperation for the sauce wearing out, I think, from Sam.
Yeah, I can see where he's coming from, though, with these moves. We've pulled as drivers in the past. We've pulled moves like that off in the past, where you've been so late on the brakes. You just overcook yourself in terms of your tyres. You go absolutely hell for leather, and there's no way you can go for Sam Gamer. Oh, and actually, there's Leroy in the wall. Leroy in the wall, coming out through turn 14. just about recovers the car. I think he's got damage on that car for sure. Sam Gamer's tyres are absolutely off the cliff coming through the final corner as well. That's him through and he's into 7th. Dominic Nielsen in 8th. I can understand where Sam Gamer was coming from. He had literally nowhere to go. Outside line, he could have opted for. He would have been off into cutting the track and picking up a 3-second penalty. So what other option was there than to barge everyone pretty much like a bowling alley down in towards turn 6? Best out of a good situation, really.
I mean, where it's done is, allowed a straight fight between Andreas and Brent, but it's also allowed Bombier to get into this as well.
Yeah, and that battle for second as well. Ruffy and Chris Hallett are looking very interesting as well. Leslie there saying in the chat, patience is a virtue. May saying, think that he's a bit glitch potentially. And Jav saying, bro thinks he's in career mode. I will hang and pin that comment in my library, quite literally. I don't have a library, but I will pin that comment in the chat at least. As we saw as well, Dominic Nielsen getting the job done on Sam Gamer. But yeah, back to Leslie's point, patience is a virtue. I always said that in commentary. Patience is an absolute virtue, especially when you've got 20 other drivers on the track, or 19 other drivers on the track with you. And Sam, I can understand where he's coming from with the battles, and this is going to be a learning curve, not only for ETA as a team, not only for Sam Gamer as an individual, but for him as a personality as well.
Yep. 100% agree, as the battle for P2 and the battle for P4 eating up now.
It is. Chris Hallett drives the car coming out of turn number 5. Very neatly done indeed. Is he on the EOS coming down the straight? No, maybe actually doesn't need it. Look at the speed difference between Chris Hallett and Ruffy. He's gaining all the time down the straight into the left-hander of turn number 6. Can't get the job done though, and Ruffy will hold on for second. Currently NLR 1-2 as it stands. Could be a sign of things to come in terms of the Esports Masters League for F1 and indeed for F2 moving forward. And we will, of course, have a review of the calendar and everything at the end of this live stream as well, with only 3 laps to go, with Gabriel leading the way, Ruffy there in second, Chris Hallett there in third. We haven't been on board with them with a while, Mike, but Gabriel there in the lead of the race. With some gamers' antics further down the field as Brent gets the job done and Andreas fighting once again for P4 this battle. Bumye right on the back of these guys as well. With Gabriel there, 5 seconds now clear of Ruffy. Clearly not in doubt his performance and his skill level, I've got to say. From commentating him in PSGL F2 last season, his skill level has jumped bags loads in F1 23 so far. Very impressed by him. I would say, honestly, I would not be surprised if he's in F1 Esports Challengers next season if he's old enough.
Yeah, definitely is an improvement over the past couple of games as well. It's been absolutely biblical as he has rose to the top of most leagues that he's been in so far.
Yeah, PSGL F3 champion as well, just to throw that out there. PSGL F3 champion, the NLR man, either last season or the season before, I think he was. Certainly did his good bit in NLR, in F2 as well, in PSGL. Did a fantastic job. But yeah, he's looking really, really good, I've got to say. And he is really improving. He has jumped, honestly, for a driver to jump this quickly into a game, I mean, the game has only been, 3 weeks. And for him to jump from a game cycle and from a handling model, which really didn't suit him, to a handling model like this, and to performances like this, he is going to go far. Let me tell you that right now. Get off him, James. You'll make him spin with the curse, says Jav, as we got 3 wide down the straight.
Andreas sending it around the outside of Brent. You got Bombier in there. He's hugging the inside line to try and get a line there, but unable to make an overtake done. Will Andreas have a little peek down the inside? No.
Definitely not. So close. Net Racing. Dominic Nielsen is out of the race as well. Coming out through the right-hander of turn number 9. Sorry, the left-hander of turn number 9. In the wall. Would have deployed a late safety car if it was Michael Massey in charge of the FIA, but unfortunately not. Gabriel leads the way. Ruffy in second. Chris Hallett there in third. Doing a fantastic job. Bumye there still on the back of Andreas. Brent there in fourth. This battle for fourth, to be honest, these 3 guys have been very fair, very respectful for each other. All representing different teams as well. Brent, of course, just getting up on my end. Give me a second. Andreas, of course, ex-esports driver. I am losing the will to live because Brent is Juventus Racing and Bumye is part of IRT. So to have 3 teams representing in the battle for fourth, it's fantastic stuff, and it sets the tone, I think, for the rest of the season.
Yeah, absolutely, and see with the battle between Chris and Ruffy as well. Looks like it'll be good to see how VIR go up against MLR this season as well.
Yeah, VIR, speaking of which, Chris Hallett was looking to try and get the up and under coming out of Tournament 9. It's very difficult to do, especially with your tyres wearing, especially with Chris Hallett's tyres wearing, as Brent is now back up to the P4. Andre's still trying to hassle the back of him there in the end. Bumia there in 6th, doing a fantastic job as it stands, but we are going on to, I believe, this will be the final lap of the race as Gabriel comes across the line to start the final lap of the race here in Abu Dhabi. It's 6.2 seconds the gap. It's now 5.3 kilometres all the way to the checkered flag as Ruffy leads in second with Chris Hallett there in third. Brent, Andres and Bumier may be the big battle to watch on board with. WSC, by the way, giving them a big shout out. 8th and 9th position, Coco, Stephen and Giova. Both of them have had their troubles and trials and tribulations in this race. 8th and 9th, ahead of Maxime and Ticho, doing a good job, and they're still sticking it out there.
Yeah, and now we're going to see if Chris can get a move done on Ruffy, because he has more ERS, he has the DRS. And we're going to see this gap close dramatically now.
If I was him, I'd go for the second chicane, but he's going to go for the first chicane. Looks the inside line, but he might have listened to me because he's actually going to go for the second chicane. He's got more ERS than Ruffy, which is why, that's why you go for the second chicane and get the move done, because it's a slightly longer straight as well. As now Chris Hallett right on the back of Ruffy, underneath the rear wing of the car, right to the outside line and sails by, coming through the left-hand turn number 9, but Ruffy's still there. The NLR man still fighting for that second position. Chris Hallett up and under, coming out of turn number 9, right side now, coming through turn number 10, on the outside through 11, on the outside through 12, can't get the job done, but he might get the switch back out of 12, he nearly ends up spinning the car, and that is it done for Chris Hallett surely. Gabriel now, the other NLR man, coming through the final couple of corners, a great race from Gabriel, takes the race win, Ruffy there in second. If Chris Hallett got the drive coming out of turn number 12, I think that would have been different. Ruffy there comes to the line to finish in second, NLR 1-2, fantastic job from them. Chris Hallett there in third, not sure what's going on in the background with Bumier. He's got a 10-second penalty. Has he got a puncture perhaps, the way he's losing the time? Andreas there in fourth, Brent there in fifth, and Bumier right on board with him. He has not got a puncture, but he has had contact, I think, on the final lap of the race. The ORT man coming across the line to finish in sixth. That would have got removed, of course, if it was EML. But we have still got a battle side by side. The WSC boys. One rule of racing is not to hit your teammate, but they're side by side coming out through the final couple of corners. Go photo opportunity for these guys. And in the end, Giova is punished so hard he gets a 20-second time penalty for corner cutting and gaining position. That is wholly unfair.
Yeah. It's a good thing it's a social race and not a natural let's call it EML race. Otherwise the stewards would be looking at this being like, oh no. Oh,
they would indeed. Bear with me, I'm just trying to find my remote control because my TV has just decided to turn itself off. Right on the final lap of the race. Give me 1 second. There we go. We went black screen for a minute there. We should be back any second. Now, there we go. And there we are. That was a fantastic race though. But Gabriel takes the win out on top. And in the end, I've got to say, he dominated that race. Sam Gamer, his trials and tribulations came to the fore as well. But the Brazilian of Gabriel, he has got one big, bright future, Mike.
Yeah, and look at that. He beat a German.
He beat a German. He gets the revenge from 2014. He gets the revenge from 2014. Oh my word. Brilliant racing though. Gabriel just so dominant, I've got to say, out in front. Look forward to seeing him no matter what tier he's in PSGL. I really hope he's in either F1 or F2 because that's what I'm going to be covering, I think, moving forward. I don't know my commentary placement, by the way, for PSGL before you ask. But Gabriel takes the race win and sets fastest lap of the race as well. Ruffy there in second. Roughed up a little bit in terms of the battling, but great battling it was. Finishes in second, ahead of VIR's Chris Hallett there in third. Brent for Juventus Racing there in fourth, good showing from him. Andreas, ex-esports there in fifth, fantastic showing, beating the GOAT of Sam Gamer in sixth. Coco Stephen there in 7th, with Bumyo there in 8th. Maxime there in 9th, picking up points for GL League as well. And Giova rounding off the top 10 as well, with only 11 finishes in the end. Ticho being the sole man right down to the back end of the field. As I say, Team Valor, bright future. Watch out for them on the Xbox side, and the Legacy division certainly moving forward. Dominic Nielsen, Leroy, Jody, Enzo, Mazepin, Andrew, Teeb, Evil, Nick and Benjamin. The list could go on and on. But they were the DNFs out on track tonight as well. But Gabriel wins, Ruffy there in 2nd, Chris Hallett in 3rd. Because of the social race, of course, there's going to be no interviews. But, Mike, I believe this is your first chance to have a look at what is going to be the EML calendar for this season. And a reminder for everyone that didn't view the launch stream, there is the calendar for this season for EML, and that starts off with a visit home.
I don't want to go home.
You don't want to go home. British Grand Prix.
Yeah, British Grand Prix, a great race to launch it, and yeah, we'll see how everyone gets on around it.
Yeah, definitely. So it is a very interesting calendar, to be honest, as well. TML, I can speak because I've released the calendar for TML as well. It follows basically from about round 7, the same calendar as what we're doing with EML, which is why we opted for 16 rounds for TML, as opposed to the traditional 10 that you get and start a little bit earlier potentially. Sign-ups are open, by the way, for EML and TML if you do want to get involved in both them. The links are in the description below in Discord, so if you do want to join. I will put up the TML calendar shortly as well. But British Grand Prix to start off, 13th of September. Remember, qualify night as well, 30th of August. How that is currently going to plan remains to be seen, because there's still conversations going on about the qualifying night, but as it stands, we're going to get at least 4 lobbies, apparently, in terms of action, with drivers represented in each and doing 2 different tracks, I believe, as well. We'll get full confirmation of that going forward. Place to be is in the email Discord. But British Grand Prix to start off the season. Then we've got a double header, or quite a few, actually, headers of Australia, then Japan, one of the early birds in 2024's calendar as well in real life. Belgium, and then our first visit to Qatar for round number 5. Then a break week between rounds 5 and 6, midpoint of the season. Then we've got the Austrian Grand Prix, the Dutch Grand Prix, the Brazilian Grand Prix, returning to Imola for the penultimate round of the season, and then a night race in Las Vegas to end off the season in front of Caesars Palace and the likes. British Grand Prix at the start of the season. Very interesting calendar that, Mike. Any favourites that you were going to see potentially for EML moving forward and expect the teams to do well at?
I mean, my personal favourite has always been Suzuka, and I am very intrigued on how drivers will get the grips with Suzuka, because on this game it seems quite a bit easier than the previous games, especially for the S's.
It does. It does. I've been around there. I've driven Suzuka recently, actually, and yeah, I can totally agree. It is so much better. I've got to say, in terms of the racing around that, hopefully promotes a lot of good overtaking. Hopefully we can get back to using the full cars as well in terms of the Mercedes, the Red Bull, Ferrari, the real-life Formula 1 cars as we are used to it. And all races, of course, are at 8 PM UK time as well. So if you do want to check that out, we're going to be live, of course, on League Racing TV throughout the season. And, of course, your commentary team for this season, well, I'm going to be covering F1, EML F1, which is no assists, of course, EML F2, also no assists as well, unlike what I said, it was assists on the launch show. All no assists, so if you do want to get your teams involved in your no assist team, do get involved as well. Fantastic to have you on board. But in terms of the commentary team for this season, for season number 5 of EML, of course, F1... EML F1 is going to be myself and Mr. IRT Indigo, so we're going to be taking to the stream. Mr. Jamie Morris joining me in the commentary box for that one. And for EML F2, you saw him there in the chat, Mr. Lesty is going to be your lead commentator for EML F2, alongside, of course, and I just have to confirm this because I am going to lose the will to live if I don't get this right. It is... nobody, apparently, going to be joining them in the commentary box. Can't find where that graphic was. That was there for EML. Oh, hang on. Hang on.
Free-fall, isn't it?
It's who?
Free-fall.
Freefall, is it? I think so. Mr. Dodds. If his surname's Dodds and he's called Freefall, then yes, it's him.
I'm going off what I'm seeing, but yeah. In one of the chats.
Honestly, I'm losing the will to live. I really do apologise. I'm just trying to find the Season 5 information from absolutely thin air at this stage. But yeah, to confirm about the commentary lineup, yeah, it is myself and Indigo, and I believe it's Freefall and Lesty joining in F2 commentary box as well, which I'm really looking forward to. Looking forward to seeing how that partnership gets on as well for EML F2. If, as well, you do want to sign up for TML, well, let me tell you that for the first time on an EML stream, that TML sign-ups are now open, and we are pretty much following the same calendar. I've got to say, I have dreamt of this calendar. Start off in Bahrain on the 27th of July. These dates may change according to the sign-ups. We haven't got many at this stage. This might be delayed a little bit, but Bahrain, 27th of July to start off the season, then Spain on the 3rd of August, Italy on the 10th of August, followed by Mexico, Miami, and Canada, the Canadian Grand Prix in Montreal on the 31st of August as well, so North American triple header there. Then we go home to Britain and follow the EML calendar from here on in with Australia. Then we've got at least one break week on the 21st of September. There might be another on the 28th of September. I've planned accordingly for that. Second half of the season takes in Belgium to start off on the 5th of October, then Qatar. Then, as EML have their break week on the 19th of October, we have decided to go to Saudi Arabia, which is a race, of course, on the calendar, and an early bird on the calendar for 2023 and 2024. Then Austria, of course, the Austrian Grand Prix last weekend. Then we go to Zandvoort, Brazil, Imola, and then end off in Las Vegas on the 23rd of November. As I say, these dates may change. All races, 8 PM UK time, Thursdays and Fridays is when we are going to be running, of course, all leagues. So if you do want to get involved with TML, you can. Sign-ups are open. Join the Discord. All the links are in the description of this very video as well. But Mike, that, I think, pretty much wraps things up. Quick word on the TML calendar. 16 rounds. I think the longest calendar we've ever had in TML.
Yeah, and that's going to be incredibly interesting because you see... in a couple of seasons gone past with the shortened calendar, if drivers mess up early on, then they don't really have much of an opportunity to come back in. But with 16 rounds, it gives more opportunity for these drivers to get themselves back into a championship fight. So that's a good thing.
Indeed, indeed. And of course, with 3 sprint races as well on the cards, which is, let me tell you, because I've got the spreadsheet and everything else up on my end. The 3 sprint races are Italy, round number 3 of the championship in Monza, 2 in the second half of the season, 1 at Belgium, 5th of October, not only that, sprint racing in Belgium, and then in Brazil, round number 14 of the championship. We did have it for the final round of Las Vegas, but Brazil, I think, is a better track for everyone as well. So 3 sprint races throughout the season. Sprint races as well, you get top 10 positions for the sprint points as well, as opposed to the top 8. That is in real life. I've decided to extend the point system. I am very generous to everyone in TML, let me tell you that, and hopefully you do get involved. Fantastic league to be a part of, and of course celebrating our 10th season going in TML. Let's make it a good one, and of course sponsored by Next Level Racing, and dare I say it as well, TML F1 champion, regardless of no assists or assists, will get the NLR F GT Lite as their prize.
And that is more than enough reason to sign up for TML.
It is. It is. We haven't done enough promotion to do that, but we will. You will get the advert right at the end of this stream as well. But as the stream currently has mentioned, we are now going to go offline. A big thank you to Mr. Arvid Mike for joining me in the commentary box. And a big thank you to everyone for tuning in at home as well. Really hope you enjoyed it. Sets the season up for the rest of the season. Hopefully we can see the real life Formula 1 cars out there as well very soon indeed. But for myself and Mike, we're going to sign off here. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.